Hey, bros. Thank you for joining Niger Times USA. Please follow Niger Times USA. I'm glad to be a columnist and a contributor for such an amazing platform. Kindly follow Niger Times USA. I'm also a columnist for them, a contributor, and a proud one at that. You know, it hits different when you get to a level in your career and you can explore. You have the freedom to explore, actually, right? It takes consistency, resilience, hard work, staying true to your goals, and everything in between. So please follow Niger Times USA. Our first, not our first, the September edition is going to be out very soon. Kindly support us with a follow. Yeah, thank you. Waiting for my guests to join the conversation as usual. Thank you to everybody joining. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for those who joined early enough. Hi, sis. Hi, Tian. That's a beautiful woman with so much positive vibes. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone. Our guest is going to be here soon. Hi, Famous for Life. Is that Nidia? Okay. Kiki, thank you for joining. Kiki would be the moderator for today. Yeah. I've been doing this for a bit, and I still find it hard to add someone. I know I saw that moderator thing the other day. Okay. Kiki, I cannot find you. I want to make you a moderator so you can control the comment section today. I won't have time perhaps to do that. So let me know if you're still online. And yeah. Let me send an invitation to Tunde. Hi. Oh my God.
Hello.
Right in time. I just saw.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you send the invitation, it takes a while
I know.
for people to, and then it just came. I was still going to say, oh, I'm waiting for him to join us. So
when it comes to things like this, I'm always on time. Replying messages,
oh,
I'm
amazing.
not, but coming online or attending meetings, yeah, I'll always be on time. But thank you so
Amazing.
much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. I know you're an extremely busy person.
Well,
Interestingly, I posted the flyer on my WhatsApp.
oh yeah.
And a couple of people said, oh, we know him.
Oh really?
and they all had good things to say about you.
Oh, glad. I'm glad it's the
And I
good people
think,
that, I'm glad it's the good people that reached out. Well, great, great. Thank you.
and I said, listen, I always tell people, when you are not in the room, pay attention to what people say about you, because I mean, that also could have transferred to my energy today.
That's
if
true.
someone had said, bet that guy, you want to interview that guy, not be correct person.
That's true.
But
That's true.
folks were like, oh my God, amazing guy. And I said, okay, good. I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. How was your week? How is the family?
Family is good. Thanks for asking. Week
Mhm.
has been good. Honestly, quite busy. I think it's extremely busy now because we are sort of running two accelerator programs, simultaneously. One is the Lasting DMZ program, and then the Google Accelerator just kicked off this week as well. So it's, trying to manage the time and ensuring that, the startup is running effectively as well. So yeah, but so far so good. How about you? How is everything?
Not bad. I thank God. I mean, we're in the world we're living. I tell people that every time your ground touches the ground, every time your feet rather touches the ground daily, that's enough reason for you to be grateful to God. Right. So for the fact that I'm here today, so have the honor to interview you and say all is well.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. I am just going to read Tunde's profile. Short. I'll make it brief because his profile is there. All right. So Tunde Omotoye is a Nigerian-born senior business operations analyst in one of Canada's biggest bank. Is that still your profile?
No, actually.
No, that has changed. I was going to say that because that's what
upgraded a little bit, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, it's still part of your resume.
Yes, it is.
So let's still put it out there. After seeing a string of interesting tweets that he wrote about his work and life experiences, folks started reaching out to him. Tunde has impacted lives through his tweet. He has encouraged people to immigrate positively, of course, and encouraged several young people to find their path in life using his own storytelling approach. Tunde is also the co-founder of Human Squad Canada. And I'm going to get right into that because, there's some amazing news you're going to be hearing today that I read about him online and the amazing work they're doing at Human Squad. But first, my question to you is this. Your immigration journey to Canada. Kindly tell us about it.
Well, it's a long story, but I'll definitely share. So Canada came to the radar, I think, sometimes in 2014, while I was in Lagos, Nigeria. I wasn't planning on traveling. It wasn't on my radar. I wasn't actively looking or trying to travel, right? For me, I was working in the Chicken Republic head office, which is Food Concepts PLC. I was working as an HR person there and all that. But an unfortunate event happened sometimes in 2014. I got robbed. I got robbed of a car, myself and my now wife, who was my girlfriend, then in front of her house. So that event actually left me traumatized, if I'm being honest. I've never actually experienced something like that in Lagos. And then I just sort of withdrew a bit from the society, right? I was like, oh, if this and I know we always see things happening every time, and then now it has happened to me. I'm like, maybe other worse things that happen to people might also actually happen to me. And somehow my mother-in-law then mentioned, hey, I know somebody who sort of processes admission for people in Canada. Maybe you want to speak to him about it. And it sort of also coincidentally happens that then I just got in, I was a few months into a promotion at work at my human resources job at Food Concepts PLC. And I knew it then that with human resources, I had no educational background or qualification for it. I sort of went in there as an officer, grew up to become an associate, and I was sort of growing in the field. But it would be good to have some sort of educational back into it. And this happened. I spoke to this person. He said, hey, I can process admission for you to Canada. I said, okay, let's just give it a try. And I was just sort of going with the flow then while I was still working, going with the flow. got the admission, applied for the visa, it came out. I was like, okay. And I did the visa myself back then, right? I was like, okay, it looks like it's going to happen. I had not even paid any tuition then. Today, before you do all those, process and all that, it's important to pay at least your first semester. I hadn't done anything. And then it came out, I was like, okay, it looks like I'm going to take this bold step and I'm going to sort of move, right? And yeah, and came to Canada, came for the human resources program. And the good thing is because I already had some sort of practical knowledge and experience in HR back home, it really helped my studies here, right? Although when immediately I didn't start school, a little bit of culture shock, deferred my admission for 4 months. And after I deferred, I was able to at least immerse myself into the system, transition gradually, met a couple of Canadians who sort of, explain the nuances, explain how the system works and all that. And that really helped me a lot, right? School started, and before school started, I had also gotten textbooks from people who had done HR before myself. And I had already read all those books. So got into class, started, doing very well, flying colors, came out with distinction. And before school finished, and I think I'm already going so much into the detail, but really that's so much of the journey, right? It sounds interesting now, but it's not as I would say interesting as it was then when I first came. And for me, the processing itself, like many people might find it hard now, but for me, the processing back then wasn't that hard for me. For some reason, I don't know, everything just, maybe it was the compensation for the car that got robbed, or for that experience itself, right, that happened to me. So yeah, but that's really my journey coming to Canada. And if I go further a bit, finish school, got retained at the place I was in internship, got another job at the bank, and then rose to become a senior BOA. And from there, got another job as a manager, managing a team at 1400 Allstate Insurance, and became a PR sometime since 2017, and then somehow, met the eligibility requirement for being a citizen, and became a citizen last year. So that's really my immigration journey itself, from landing here till today, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I must say, the picture of you when you walk at the fast food restaurant, I think there was one tweet you made that went viral.
Yes.
And then we posted on our Men Who Inspire page.
Yes.
And I think every time I see that picture on my timeline, it sort of like reignites something in me to say, days of humble beginning. People need to always know the story. That there is really no past fire to acquire anything. There are people with stories, and there are valid stories that are relatable. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So my next question is, having gotten to Canada, of course, let's say the compensation for this traumatic event.
Yes.
How were you able to overcome the culture shock? How were you able to navigate the system? Because one of the most, one problem that I know a lot of people have when they immigrate to a new country is the culture shock.
That's true.
How do I integrate into the system? For some of us, it's the weather. Because then you're waking up the next morning like, what? Why is it cold?
That's true. That's true.
So how, please, for the purpose of, young folks who perhaps might want to travel, for any reason, kindly share with us how you were able to navigate your path in Canada.
Well, a couple of ways. I think one thing that at least primarily that I think started to help me was mixing with, local Canadians, like people who grew up here, young people, right? People who grew up here, people who had lived here for years. They sort of, explain how things work, where you will be able to get things cheaper, how the bus system works, all those type of things. I would say I did meet a few Nigerians who sort of helped at the beginning, but they were also trying to find their feet. Right? They were also students, right? So meeting with those sort of Canadians sort of solidified that immersion itself. So having said that, in the labor market sort of experience itself, what I did was, first thing I did was I joined the HR profession. right, I first joined that HR profession. I think it was important for me to understand what was happening in my space, in my field, and they sort of, helped with the transition. Hey, this is how things work. If you want to really have an edge in the labor market as a HR person, you have to get a certification. This is the website where you will begin to learn the eligibility requirements, all those type of things. Started to network with people who had, who were experienced and were in that space, right? I think that's the second one. The third one is church, right? For some people who are either Christians or Muslims, you find that there's already a community in many of our religious spaces. So church really helped also, because there were a community of young folks, even adults, people who sort of take you under their wings. So I think that also helped, seeing that community of people that look like you, people that speak like you, people that could advise, you could worship together and all that. So that also sort of really helped in transitioning into the system. And I would say many other things, but particularly myself being, hardworking, right? Ensuring that, hey, what I've come here to do is first study, and I have to do it very well, right? I have to do that part very well, which was ensuring that I came out with a very good grade. And with that, I was able to get a good internship, and that internship itself was what sort of set my foot rolling in the corporate world, in the Canadian corporate world, right? So I would say those are the things that sort of I think helped in transitioning into the system. Things like weather. With weather, yes, there was a huge culture shock. I think it was even from the first day I landed. Immediately I stepped out of the airport, I went back in. I had to run back in just to get a thicker, another layer of jacket, so to speak, because the jacket that I brought didn't do anything, right? So I would say that was there also. There was also food culture shock, because I found out that, or at least the first month, my taste buds weren't just, they were not just responding to everything I was eating. Right. So, but I got that orientation from some of our Nigerians here. This is where you will be able to buy African food stuff. You have to cook yourself. You have to do things this way and that. So that sort of also helped in transitioning into the system. So yeah, so I think those are the things that sort of helped in getting a good and soft landing, so to speak.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And yes, I agree with you. Community, a support system.
Yeah.
Nobody is an island.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a support system around them. And I'm happy you acknowledge that.
That's true, yeah.
Which most people don't do at the beginning of their journey. Just acknowledge the folks who were there for you, right? As you walk through your path in life. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what are some of the things to consider before relocating to a new country?
Wow. There are lots. I think for young people who are looking to relocate, the first thing you have to do is, first of all, do your research very well. Where are you going, right? Where is the place you are going to? You find that for some people, they get to a new place and they realize, oh, this wasn't what I thought this place would be. And it's not that way because you did not do your research, right? You have to do your research to understand the diversity, how many colored people are in that school or even city that you're going to be in. Are there Nigerians like yourself? Whatever race it is you are there people like me in that environment? You have to do that research. And the good thing with many countries abroad is the data is out there. You will always see that data there. You will always see that number either on their website or their statistics website. And also that's one, right? Two is for students who are coming, it is always important to come with have funds, right? Have money, right? I know that a lot of us, for someone like myself, when I came, when I deferred my admission, I was able to save some money for part of my first semester tuition and all that. But for many students, they want to do this and they come and then they realize, hey, I can't even defer my admission. Then it becomes so difficult for them. So I would say that for folks who are coming to study, it's always important to ensure that, hey, you have your tuition available. You've already, sorted that out before coming, right? And you want to ensure that while you're in school, it's study first. You're focusing on your grades. You're focusing on your study. And I'll say the third one is now for people who come as couples, right? Family, right? Your network with the people around you. right? Network with the people around you, the Nigerians that have been here before, or the community of people who have been here before. You want to speak with them, right? How do I get this job? How do I find this? How do I do this? Right? That will really, really sort of help as well. And because thank God for technology. Thank God for social media. A lot of people are forming communities on WhatsApp, on Telegram, asked to join these groups, right? I think one thing I'll say that women have really done, or they are doing very well in Canada, is they found so much communities, pockets of communities where you join that group and you hear one woman say, hey, this community of women, they're taking me out for lunch, they're taking me out for this, they are showing me where to do this, where to get this. I think that's really, would really, really help. And then for professionals who are coming, it's important for you to do your research with your qualification and your background and whatever work you're going to be doing, right? For some people who are, for instance, maybe HR professionals or accountants, they get there, they find out, hey, my certification is not recognized, right? So they will have to sort of start all over again. But before coming, it's important for you to start to look into it. What's the equivalent of my own certification in Canada, in US, in UK? Is my certification recognized? What do I need to be able to become certified in that country, right? All those things. By the time, and it's important because if you put these things at the back end and say, I will get to it later, you land and it's hard because there are so many things you have to also focus on, right? And if you don't sort of put these things at the top of your list, you realize that you have to now start playing catch up. How do I get it done? How do I get it done? Whereas if one had sort of prepared, made some sort of mental note, some checklist, this is what I need to get all those things ready. Maybe it's even before you leave Nigeria, realize, or wherever country you come from, you realize you need some documents. You get those ones ahead, so you don't get here and start to look for those sort of documents, right? So I'll say that's sort of the things that one can sort of, look out for and do and prepare yourself before sort of transitioning and coming.
Thank you. And I hope the young people here are listening. Before you make that move, do your research. That is my biggest take home from what Tunde just shared right now. Research is very important. Know where, know your what, know your how. Those, three things would help you navigate the system properly.
Exactly.
What inspired you to start Human Squad Canada?
Wow, big question. What inspired me to start Human Squad Canada? So, in 2019, I got a promotion at the bank, right? Become a senior BOA. And it was a promotion and also becoming a full-time staff, right? Because previously I was a contractor, right? And then I transitioned for the promotion and then became a full-time staff. And then I realized, I said, hey, all